Hello. I'm going to give a workshop on reputation management for women on Sunday the 7th of December, and just wanted to talk about that topic. So reputation, is very important. It's what people think of us or how we perceive people think of us, and it's really related to belonging and acceptance, and is really a core need. And for women, I think it's particularly important, especially women who have something to say. They want to reveal themselves, and they want to reveal something raw, something true. It can feel safer to remain hidden, to not say anything. At least then people can't say anything about us. People can't think anything about us. We remain safe. Our reputation is small, but we're safe. But unfortunately, this really does perpetuate the state of affairs where women continue not to fully reveal themselves, who they are, and express their truth, all of themselves. So, just 3 things to share that may be helpful. First, of some of the fear that you may feel in response to this idea of revealing yourself, of sharing more of your truth, can be understandable, and it can be the responses of others around you, your family, who may not necessarily know this aspect of you. And so there can be a fear of what will they say, what will they think. But on a deeper level, the fear can also be connected to this long past of feminine persecution and women not being able to reveal their truth. And it's still unsafe in parts of the world for a woman to express herself and express what she feels and what's really going on. And so this fear is very real, even though we may not consciously be aware of it. But I think most women do carry this fear in their bodies. So it's good to be aware of that and not shame ourselves further for not being able, having this resistance to speaking out, to sharing, when we may deeply desire to do that, but there's a huge resistance in the body. Second, this whole area of reputation and reputation management is very much focused on what people think of us, and even the etymology of the word reputation is to think over. And so it's very heady, it's all about analysing what are they thinking, what are they sharing, what are they writing. But actually, when we go back in time, reputation evolved from this sense of being an honourable person, being a person of integrity. And the word honour encompasses feelings. It encompasses how we feel in our body around a person, how people feel in their bodies around us. And it's really useful and important for women to perhaps reframe reputation in this way and realize that reputation is really about you embodying your honor, your integrity, who you really are, your truth, and knowing that that is how a truly great reputation is built, how people feel in your presence and feel in response to you. And I think this is becoming more and more powerful and important in these times, because we can see that people who typically have built, seemingly great reputations through manipulation of words and images and media, it's been increasingly revealed that they're not people of integrity, or they're not revealing the full truth of themselves, that actually their reputation is a kind of fabrication or a kind of a ghost. It's not really who they are. And so I think this reframing of reputation can also make us feel more powerful and secure, because you are in control of that, and actually you embodying your honor is something you are in full control over. And then thirdly, I mean, it is just the truth that you can't control how people are going to respond or react to what you share of yourself. And that is something we have to accept. We have to walk that path, that we just can't control. And actually we have to kind of surrender the control over others' behavior and reactions. However, you don't have to tolerate unacceptable behavior, and you can have a toolkit of practical, legal steps and actions that you can take in response to certain certain reactions, whether it's like verbal attacks or abuse or ridicule, or whether it's online or in person. You can feel empowered to take certain steps, and also at times the wise thing to do is actually not to take any steps, not to respond. But that in itself is something to that you can assert yourself with. That is also the wisdom of your own body, and to know that you can take action when you need to, and you can also refrain from taking action if that's the wisest thing to do. And on that point, I feel like this journey of women and the feminine body is about actually meeting those reactions that come up, and seeing how we feel in response to those reactions. How does your body feel in response to these verbal attacks or abuse, whether it's mild or whether it's very, very serious? There is an energetic alchemy that can happen when you also process your own responses to those reactions, and it can become further fuel for your fire, because you're not entering into a vicious cycle of reaction with this person, whoever it is. It's not your issue, it's not your problem. Actually, you're in control over how your body is feeling, and you can alchemize that energy, and you can use it to actually grow stronger, and to realize, in fact, that your worst fears didn't eventuate, that actually you're deeply safe, and you can build your own reputation, your own honor, in a powerful and strong and safe way, and you're in control of that. So I hope that's supportive, and maybe a kind of a reframe. And if you're interested, I'd invite you to come and join me for a workshop on Sunday the 7th of December, and please bring questions if you like. I'm going to offer a toolkit of those practical action steps I mentioned for anyone that joins up, and it would be lovely to see you there. Bye bye.